Super Rootz of Chicago podcast. I'm sitting here with a very, very interesting young man or fellow. I would like to say young man. I was going to use the Dos Equis commercial, but
he is the most interesting man.
Right. I'll let him introduce himself because I find him very interesting.
I'm Howard Wallach, a Chicago native, born and raised, and I'm in the special events space, and I have been a fan of this guy ever since the original house days. I was a young DJ playing in the clubs, and I remember, turn up the bass!
So what brings you to the Marquee show today?
So for many, many years, I have been part of the panel of presenters. I found that in my career, it makes me very happy and very comfortable to be an encourager, to be a sharer of information. So I view my role as an older DJ to help young DJs behind the scenes, the business of the business, so to speak.
Okay.
And from Las Vegas to Atlantic City to Milwaukee, I've had the pleasure of bonding with other DJs at these conferences. And for this is my third year as the Master of Ceremonies in the conference room. So all of the educators that are here today, I am segueing them, introducing them, and keeping the crowd moving and grooving with some levity and just, enjoying the day.
I love a bit of levity and satire. It makes the mood.
Yes. Can't all be serious. We got to have some fun.
You got to have. And as a matter of fact, Rootz of Chicago, we teach underprivileged kids between 12 and 17 how to DJ and make records or produce records with a little bit of a business to go along with it, so they're not just one side.
I think what you're doing is actually a blessing. It's different than being a basketball player where one in 7,000 kids goes all the way, right, and maybe plays on the bench, right?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult proposition. But here's the thing about DJing. If you are known as accountable, if you have integrity, and you are talented, accountable, consistent, and you have integrity, with talent, you are unstoppable.
Yeah.
There's DJs who love music, not enough. There are DJs who have charisma, not enough. Being honorable with your word, being consistent, being accountable, and being talented, that is the combination for all kinds of opportunities.
Yes, I concur 100%. And so by you having this an abundance of information that you spread to people, have you seen the results that you've passed to someone? Have you seen them not just leapfrog, but like every measure, step by step, they seem to gain a little bit more and more and more. They get a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm one building block, I'm one domino in their story.
Right.
I've had quite a few people come through my doors. I have a company that does special events called A to Z Entertainment, and years later, they found that some of the interpersonal skills that were taught through our little hospitality piece of the puzzle, they were able to use those skills and that personality in their other jobs. For example, one of my friends he worked for me for 14 years.
Wow.
He's now a thriving attorney, and he learned how to work a room, and be presentable to the judge, to the jury, and to everybody in the court. He had such confidence and such a persona that what he was saying was compelling and ultimately made the difference in court cases. And he attributed that to the years that he spent, dealing with caterers and photographers and all the pieces of the event pie. So yeah, I've firsthand I've got to see some people really win because of the time they put in doing special events.
I've done special events I've done events in Germany. I lived there for a little while, and I had a partner. Shout out to DJ Bobby Starr. we put on events, and I used to tell him what we doing. He called it putting on parties. I was like, no, this is an event. We putting people together that shouldn't be together. Promoters or whatever, there's dancers or just friends of ours putting together the flyer. All this is an event. Booking the hotels for the DJ, making sure they get the dinner. To me, that's part of the event. So, in your case, is it a little bit deeper than that?
No, it's just different details. But to your point, the logistics, the communications, and the follow-ups are exactly the same. You need someone to corral everybody together, to motivate them to be their best. If you treat them well, it might not make them a millionaire, but if you pay them on time, if you are, I call it being a mensch. If you're a mensch, that goes a long way with people. And I never demanded that someone respect me. I let my actions speak for themselves, right? So let's say I've got guys moving gear for me. I'm not pointing and telling. I'll say to them, I'll help you. I'll show you how I would like to pack the car or unpack the truck. But ultimately your job is to give me peace of mind. So I want to show you the right way to do it, the sequence of how we do it, why we do it this way. And then I'd like you to do it on your own. Not because I can't do it, because I want to see if you can handle those trials and tribulations, because you're going to be in environments where I'm not with you.
Right.
I want to know that the way you're doing it is efficient and practical, and what ends up happening is they start applying all those little minute lessons to their life, and they become better brothers, better friends, better sons, and this is the feedback I get all the time.
So it's like, so you're like almost like in air quotes, a life coach.
It's odd that I've used hospitality and special events as my conduit for that, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
what do DJs do? We play other people's music. The end result is an excellent experience, a wild party, a milestone celebrated. So if you just take a step back and you look at why we're doing what we do, I think that helps shape how you approach these situations. If you know what your why is, it helps.
Could you also associate DJing with being a psychiatrist?
It's funny, for those of us that have serviced weddings or bar mitzvahs or even corporate, there is a lot of hand-holding. There's a lot of pre-event advocacy, right? When you're dealing with people, listen, no one wants to overpay. No one wants to be embarrassed, and no one wants to make any mistakes.
Right.
So they look for vendors that get it. They want to hire someone that gives them peace of mind. And one of my mantras is, I try to treat all of my clients as though they were family. Like, what would I do if I were in their shoes? Let me give you comfort level. I'll arrive early. I'll talk to your photographer. I'll make sure I'm in touch with the caterer. All of this sort of coordination. When people think they're hiring a DJ, how many times have you heard, wow, you're so much money, it's just a 4-hour party? No. How about the 20 to 30 hours ahead of the event? Right. Again, all that creative planning time, the thoughtful notes that are being taken, the accountability. I keep going back to that word. But in essence, you're paying for a relationship. You're paying for someone that's going to have your back. The greatest gift we can give someone getting married, or an awards dinner, or a gala where they're trying to raise money, to be present.
Yes.
You are hiring someone so that you can be in the moment. You're not worried about the food. You're not worried about the decor. You're not worried about the music. You're not worried about the guy on the microphone. That's what I sell. I try to, when someone calls me, I don't talk about what speakers I'm bringing, what performance table, what facade. No, I talk about outcomes.
Okay.
If you hire me or my team, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be just fine, because we've got your back. And that's sort of,
But that's something you don't really hear nowadays. Confidence. I will use a different word, but I was gonna say vibrato, but it's more. It's not vibrant. It's just it's a confidence.
But it's an authentic. To be in hospitality.
Boisterous. I was going to use boisterous, but boisterous means you being a bit cocky. That's not.
No. This is how I would package it. Mm-hmm. I recognize that I am part of a hospitality picture, mm-hmm. and within that picture, I recognize that I am being of service. Mm-hmm. That there's no job too small. If there's a broken glass, I don't want to cut myself, but I'm going to be quick to get it off the dance floor. If I see someone in a wheelchair and they're doing this, I might go over to them and schmooze and have some fun with them. Not to be fake, but to engage.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what you don't get. I did that in Germany, but just on a DJ party underground vibe. My partner did too. Walk out and say, "What's up?" I don't know all these people. I have to speak German most of the time. So, but just to engage, see how they feeling. Can I get you water? Can I get you water? Can I get you a soda or something? I don't know. I mean, I get drink tickets, but we did the same thing, and I think that's very important today. So, my last question to you, for somebody, I got one more after this. For someone that's starting out doing events, what would be the best advice? 1-2 punch, like bam, bam. What would be the best advice you could give them about putting together events?
Very often, young people cop a know-it-all attitude. It takes someone honest to be introspective and say, this is what I'm good at, and this is where I need help. Every young DJ is very consumed with, I want to mix, I want to program, I want to get the best equipment. They're focused on the tools, okay? But you have to spend an equal amount of time understanding your role in the bigger picture, whether it's a pub, a bar, a nightclub, whether it's karaoke, whether it's trivia. How do I fit into this picture? So the first thing I would say is understand your role. And how can you add value? If I'm there, I want to be a difference maker. Because I was a part of that pub, that trivia night, that wedding, I made an impact. Okay. My role made a difference. That's number one. Okay. Number two, and I mean this in all sincerity, find a mentor, a sharer. Find someone who doesn't have not a gatekeeper. Someone who is willing to say, look, if you do it this way, this will help you. If you do it this way, this will hurt you. Someone who can be honest, and if you can take that feedback and not personalize it, not go, oh, he's giving me attitude. Find someone who sincerely is willing to coach you, using your word. And I think it's a big deal because so many DJs, we grew up in the 80s when being a DJ, we didn't call it gatekeeping. Everybody was like keeping it, this is my contact, this is my job. As you season and you get comfortable in your own skin, things change. Yes. The conversations become lighter, and there's a lot more networking that takes place, and that's the 1-2 punch is knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are, being honest about it, incorporating a mentor into your DJ experience, and ultimately being in the conversation will open up more doors than. You can be the greatest DJ who can hot mix and scratch and be in your room. And nobody knows you.
I say the same. I've preached that 1,000 times to people here and abroad. Get up, get out, do something, but at the same time practice. Go out, meet people, say hello. Let me say something, especially if you're not known. If you're unknown, man, meet as many people as you can.
Let me say something.
Sure.
There's a notion, and it's false, that some DJs say words like, I will only go out for X. I won't leave my house unless I earn Y. I will only do this if I get Z. They come up with a script. And I don't know how to say this any other way, but if you are wise and you're doing the right thing by the right people, those right people will turn around and for your goodwill keep the ball rolling. Every excellent event begets more excellent events. You could argue it the other way, and you could say, but I did it for so cheap, they're going to keep asking me for cheap. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But the long game is do right by people. The image.
Hey, Howard, thank you very much, because I live by that mantra. I really, really do. That's why I'm with Rootz of Chicago. These are my brothers. We are on the exact same page. We move.
I am hoping to meet some of these kids someday soon.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like nothing more than to pay it forward and be a part of your world.
Oh, word. We appreciate that. We appreciate it. Thank you.